Imagine waking up tomorrow with no limits, no boundaries, and no fear of failure. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? The truth is, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the courage to take that first step into the unknown. Today, I'm here to remind you the people who are crazy enough to believe they can change the world are the ones who actually do. So, are you ready to take the leap and start making your mark? Let's dive in. In the journey to change the world, one of the most important steps is believing in yourself. The world is filled with people who may doubt your potential, question your ideas, or even laugh at your dreams. But the difference between those who make a lasting impact and those who don't lies in one simple yet powerful concept: self-belief. Without belief in yourself, the obstacles will seem insurmountable, and the road to success will appear too daunting to travel. But with belief, you will have the strength to continue even when the path is unclear, and the courage to push forward even when the world says you can't. Self-belief is not about being arrogant or overconfident. It's about having the conviction that your ideas, no matter how unconventional, have value. It's about understanding that your dreams, no matter how big or impossible they may seem, are worth pursuing. It's about the quiet inner voice that tells you to keep going even when no one else believes in you. When you believe in yourself, you create a force that drives you to do things others might think are impossible. You start to see opportunities where others see challenges. You learn to turn failures into lessons and setbacks into stepping stones. When you look at history, you'll see that the individuals who changed the world were not necessarily the most skilled, the most well-connected, or the most privileged. Instead, they were the ones who dared to believe in their own vision, even when everyone else thought they were crazy. These people were often told that their dreams were too big, their ideas were too far-fetched, or that they were simply out of touch with reality. But it was their belief that fueled their perseverance and allowed them to accomplish things that others thought impossible. Belief in yourself doesn't mean that you'll never face doubt. In fact, self-doubt can be a constant companion. What sets the world changers apart is their ability to push past that doubt and keep going. They understand that doubt is a natural part of the journey, but it's also something that can be overcome. It's not about avoiding fear, but about moving forward in spite of it. They know that failure is simply a part of the process, a necessary stepping stone on the way to success. Their belief in themselves allows them to embrace failure, learn from it, and move forward with even greater resolve. Belief also brings with it resilience. The road to changing the world is not easy, and you will encounter plenty of obstacles along the way. But when you believe in yourself, you develop the strength to overcome those obstacles. Instead of being discouraged by difficulties, you'll see them as opportunities to grow and learn. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can handle more than you ever imagined. Moreover, self-belief is contagious. When you believe in yourself, others are more likely to believe in you too. People are naturally drawn to individuals who are confident in their vision and purpose. By showing belief in yourself, you inspire others to believe in you and your ideas. You begin to create a ripple effect of positivity and momentum that can help you gather support and build a team of like-minded individuals who are also willing to take on the world. In conclusion, the first and most important key to changing the world is embracing the power of belief in yourself. You must have the conviction to trust in your own abilities, even when the world is skeptical. Belief in yourself will give you the strength to keep going when things get tough, the resilience to rise after failure, and the inspiration to lead others to join your cause. Don't wait for the world to tell you that you can make a difference. Believe in yourself, and you will begin to see the endless possibilities ahead. To change the world, it's essential to dream big. The world needs visionaries, people who are not afraid to think outside the box, challenge the status quo, and reimagine what is possible. Dreaming big is not just about having a lofty goal or an ambitious aspiration. It's about daring to go beyond what's conventional and pushing the boundaries of what others think is achievable. When you dream big, you open doors to possibilities that most people wouldn't even consider, and you create the space for innovation and change to thrive. We live in a world that is full of limitations created by society, institutions, and the past. The truth is, many of the most extraordinary breakthroughs in history happened because someone somewhere dared to think differently. They saw opportunities where others saw problems, and they imagined a world that was radically different from the one that existed. They didn't just accept things the way they were. They asked themselves, what if? One of the biggest barriers to dreaming big is the fear of failure. Society often teaches us to play it safe, to follow the rules, and to stick to what is tried and true. But if we all followed the conventional path, progress would stagnate. Think about the great visionaries of the past, people like Thomas Edison, Marie Curie, or Albert Einstein. Each of them faced countless setbacks, criticism, and rejection. But they didn't give up because their dreams were too big to ignore. And they knew that changing the world required going against the grain. Thinking differently is the first step in creating change. It's about refusing to accept things as they are and being brave enough to imagine how they could be. When you think differently, you see the world through a new lens. You start questioning established norms and challenging the assumptions that limit innovation. You start looking for solutions instead of dwelling on the problems. Thinking differently is the key to breaking down barriers, whether they are physical, mental, or societal. People who change the world are not content with the way things are. They are constantly questioning, reevaluating, and innovating. They take risks because they know that without risk there is no reward. They embrace the unknown because they understand that the future is shaped by the boldness of those willing to venture into uncharted territory. Whether it's developing new technologies, revolutionizing industries, or reshaping entire cultures, the ability to think differently is the catalyst for progress. Moreover, when you think differently, you encourage others to do the same. One person with a bold vision can inspire a movement, and that movement can spread like wildfire. Change is contagious. When you challenge the status quo, you motivate others to think outside the box and take action. You become a beacon of possibility for those who might be afraid to dream big on their own. By dreaming big and thinking differently, you create a ripple effect that encourages innovation, sparks creativity, and pushes humanity toward progress. But dreaming big and thinking differently doesn't just mean having wild, unrealistic ideas. It's about finding creative, bold solutions to the challenges we face. It's about understanding that the problems of today can be solved with the innovative thinking of tomorrow. No idea is too big or too small to contribute to the solution. Whether you want to revolutionize education, healthcare, technology, or even social structures, the power to change the world starts with a single, daring thought. What if we could do this differently? In conclusion, to change the world, you must dare to dream big and think differently. Challenge the status quo, question the norms, and push the boundaries of what is possible. It is through bold ideas, innovative thinking, and a relentless drive to make a difference that change begins. Dreaming big gives you the vision to see what others can't, and thinking differently gives you the tools to create a path where none exists. So don't be afraid to imagine the impossible. The world needs your big ideas and your unique perspective. Take that first step and let your dreams be the spark that ignites a revolution of change. One of the most powerful forces that can shape our success is failure. But why is it that we are so afraid of failure? The fear of failure often holds us back from chasing our dreams, trying new things, or even taking the first step towards something great. We've been conditioned by society to think of failure as something to avoid at all costs, but the truth is that failure is not only inevitable but necessary for growth, learning, and eventually achieving success. The path to success is rarely a straight line. It is often a winding road filled with obstacles, setbacks, and yes, failures. However, each failure is an opportunity. It is not the end of the road. It is simply a lesson, a feedback mechanism that tells you what doesn't work. Failure teaches you to be resilient. It shows you what you're made of and how to rise after falling. It forces you to reassess, adapt, and refine your approach. It gives you the strength to keep going, even when things seem impossible. If you look at some of the most successful people in history, you'll find that they didn't get to where they are by avoiding failure. They got there because they embraced failure as a part of the process. Thomas Edison, for example, famously failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. He didn't see those failures as reasons to quit. He saw them as valuable lessons. When asked about his failures, Edison said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is the key to turning failure into success. It's about understanding that every failure is a lesson that brings you closer to your goal. When you fail, you gain a deeper understanding of what needs to be done, what can be improved, and where you can grow. Instead of viewing failure as a defeat, view it as an essential part of the learning process. It's through failure that we develop perseverance, creativity, and innovation. We learn how to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and try again with more knowledge and experience. Without failure, there is no progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make is letting failure define them. They see one setback as a permanent reflection of their ability. But failure is temporary, and success is not guaranteed by avoiding failure. It's guaranteed by persistence in the face of it. Every person who has achieved great things has experienced failures. It's what they did after the failure that mattered most. They kept going. They didn't allow one setback to stop them from pursuing their dreams. They learned, adapted, and grew stronger with each attempt. Moreover, failure can be a source of valuable feedback. If you're afraid of failure, you might hesitate to take risks, and by avoiding risks, you'll also avoid opportunities for growth. The more risks you take, the more opportunities you have to learn from your mistakes and adjust your approach. This is how true innovation happens. Think about the tech industry, for instance, where companies fail, learn, and then bounce back stronger than before, creating revolutionary products that change the world. It's also important to remember that success doesn't come instantly. It's built on a series of small, often failed attempts. The key is to keep moving forward, regardless of how many times you fall. In fact, failure can often teach us more than success ever could. When we succeed too easily, we don't develop the resilience and problem-solving skills needed to tackle future challenges. But when we fail, we are forced to think differently, push through adversity, and try new things. In conclusion, embracing failure is essential if you want to make a real impact in the world. Don't be afraid to fail, be afraid of not trying at all. Failure is not the end, it's the beginning of a new chapter in your journey to success. So take risks, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. Every failure is a lesson that brings you one step closer to achieving greatness. Embrace failure and use it as the fuel that propels you toward success. Fear and doubt are two of the most common obstacles that hold us back from reaching our full potential. The natural instinct when faced with the unknown or when embarking on a new journey is to be cautious, to second-guess ourselves, and to hesitate. We begin to ask questions like, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if it's too late? These thoughts are not only normal, but in some cases, they can even serve as a sign that we are pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone, which is where real growth happens. However, the difference between those who succeed and those who do not is how they choose to respond to these fears and doubts. Many of us wait for the perfect moment to take action, the perfect plan, the perfect set of circumstances, or the perfect self-confidence to make the leap. But the truth is, the perfect moment rarely comes. There is no right time to begin. If you wait until you have no fear or doubt, you may never begin at all. Fear is a natural emotion that comes with any challenge, and doubt is part of being human. They will always be present in some form. The key is to act despite them. The most successful people in the world are not those who never feel fear or doubt, but those who choose to move forward in the face of them. Action is the antidote to fear. When you take action, you diminish the power that fear and doubt hold over you. You don't have to eliminate all your doubts or fears before you take the first step. You simply need to act regardless of them. It's about learning to take one step at a time, even if you're unsure of what lies ahead. Think of the first time you learned how to ride a bike. You probably experienced fear of falling, of failing, of looking foolish. But did you stop because of those fears? No. You got on the bike and pedaled, and though you may have fallen a few times, you eventually learned to achieve. That experience teaches us a powerful lesson that progress is made through action, not waiting for everything to be perfect. It's only through taking the leap that we begin to gain the skills, knowledge, and confidence necessary to succeed. It's easy to become paralyzed by fear. When we imagine the worst-case scenarios, it can feel overwhelming, and we may even convince ourselves to give up before we try. But often, the things we fear the most are the things that lead to the greatest rewards. Fear of failure can keep us from starting, but failure can also be a powerful teacher. Fear of rejection may keep us from sharing our ideas or pursuing our passions, but rejection is often part of the process of finding our true path. Every successful person has faced rejection, criticism, and failure, but they didn't let those setbacks define them. They kept moving forward, step by step. If you wait for doubt and fear to disappear, you will wait forever. Instead, you need to learn to take action despite these feelings. Action creates momentum, and with momentum comes progress. Each small action you take, no matter how uncertain, will build your confidence and bring you closer to your goal. Even if the outcome is not what you expected, the lesson learned will help you grow, and the next step will be easier. It's about developing the courage to move forward even when you don't have all the answers. The road to success is not without its challenges, and those challenges often come with fear and doubt. But don't let those emotions stop you from acting. Use them as fuel to push forward. Remember, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who take action even when fear and doubt try to hold them back. It's not the absence of fear that leads to success, it's the ability to act despite it. So take that first step, even if you don't know exactly where it will lead. The only way to overcome fear and doubt is by taking action, and that action is the key to unlocking your true potential. Failure is one of the most important aspects of success, yet it is also one of the most feared and misunderstood concepts. We are often taught to avoid failure at all costs, but in reality, failure is an essential part of the journey toward greatness. It's through our failures that we learn, grow, and develop the resilience necessary to achieve our goals. If we let fear of failure control us, we rob ourselves of the invaluable lessons that failure offers. First, it's important to understand that failure is not permanent. It is merely a stepping stone on the path to success. Absolutely no one achieves greatness without failing along the way. In fact, many of the world's most successful individuals face significant setbacks and failures before they reach their breakthrough moments. For instance, Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before he invented the electric light bulb. But he never saw those failures as defeats. Instead, he viewed them as learning opportunities. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Failure is not an end, but a beginning. When you fail, You gain new insights into what doesn't work, and with that knowledge, you can refine your approach, make adjustments, and try again. Every time you fail, you can become smarter, stronger, and more equipped to handle future challenges. It's through these failures that you build resilience and develop the kind of perseverance that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It's also essential to understand that failure is not something to be ashamed of. Our society often stigmatizes failure, making it seem like something to avoid at all costs. We fear the judgment of others and worry that failure will define us. However, the most successful people don't view failure as something to fear or hide, they embrace it. Failure is not a reflection of your character or abilities. Rather, it's a reflection of your willingness to try, to push boundaries, and to take risks. The person who is willing to fail is the one who is willing to grow. But learning from failure isn't just about accepting it as part of the journey. It's also about analyzing what went wrong and adjusting accordingly. Every failure carries a lesson, and it's essential to identify that lesson before moving on. For example, if a business venture fails, you should ask yourself, what did I miss? Was there a better way to approach this? Did I make the right decisions? By reflecting on failure with a mindset of curiosity and learning, you gain invaluable insights that will help you avoid repeating the same mistakes and ultimately lead you closer to success. Moreover, the key to learning from failure is to keep moving forward. Failure can be disheartening, and it's easy to feel like giving up when things don't go as planned. However, it's the people who get up after failing and keep moving forward that succeed in the long run. The true measure of success is not how many times you fail, but how many times you get back up after failing. The most successful individuals aren't immune to setbacks, they just don't let those setbacks define them. Failure also teaches humility. It reminds us that we are not invincible, and that no matter how much we plan or how hard we work, things may not always go as expected. But this humility is powerful because it opens us up to new ideas and new approaches. We become more adaptable, more open to feedback, and more willing to take calculated risks in the future. Ultimately, the road to success is not a straight path. It is filled with ups and downs, twists and turns, and many, many failures. The important thing is to embrace those failures as part of the journey. Don't let them discourage you. Instead, let them fuel your determination to keep going. As long as you learn from each failure and keep moving forward, you are one step closer to your goals. Remember, failure is not something to fear. It's an essential part of the process that will ultimately lead to success. Keep pushing forward, keep learning, and never give up. Success is built on the foundation of failure. To change the world, you must be willing to step out of your comfort zone and take risks. Playing it safe might provide you with a sense of security, but it rarely leads to anything extraordinary. True innovation, progress, and success often come from the willingness to take bold actions, make mistakes, and face the unknown. If you are too afraid to take risks, you are also limiting your potential to achieve greatness. Comfort zones are natural, and they often feel safe. Our brains are wired to prefer routine and familiarity because they offer security. However, living within a comfort zone can also trap us in mediocrity, preventing us from achieving our fullest potential. If you continue to stay within the boundaries of what is comfortable and familiar, you will miss out on opportunities to challenge yourself, grow, and ultimately make an impact. Taking risks doesn't mean acting recklessly or without thought. It means being willing to take calculated steps outside the norm, to push yourself beyond the constraints of what feels familiar and comfortable. It means trying something that scares you, because growth only happens when you are willing to face discomfort. For instance, when the founder of a new startup launches their business, there is no guarantee of success. They invest time, energy, and capital into something that might fail, but they do it because they believe in the potential of their vision. Even with the knowledge that failure is a possibility, they take that risk because they know that without risk, there is no opportunity for great success. The risk itself is the key to unlocking new doors. Risk-taking doesn't have to mean making huge leaps into the unknown right away. It can be something as simple as asking for help when you need it, exploring a new field, or trying an idea that might seem unconventional. It can also mean challenging societal norms or defying expectations. The key is to make bold decisions, even if those decisions carry the possibility of failure. One of the most crucial elements of taking risks is embracing failure as a natural outcome of trying new things. When you risk something, the result is uncertain. Sometimes you will fail, and sometimes you will succeed. But every time you take a risk, you gain knowledge and experience that can be used to grow and improve. Success doesn't come without failure, and failure is an integral part of learning. If you never take a risk, you never experience the potential reward, and you remain stagnant. Think about the breakthroughs that have shaped the world. The Wright brothers took the risk of failing countless times in order to make the first powered flight. Steve Jobs took the risk of revolutionizing the tech industry by launching Apple, despite initial skepticism and challenges. Thomas Edison risked his reputation, time, and resources in the pursuit of inventing the light bulb. All of these innovators stepped outside their comfort zones and risked everything to make a lasting impact on the world. They didn't let the fear of failure stop them from moving forward. Instead, they embraced the challenges along the way as part of their journey towards success. Similarly, when you step outside your comfort zone, you create opportunities for creativity and innovation. If you always stick to the same routine, you limit your ability to think outside the box. However, when you try new things, you begin to see problems and solutions from different perspectives. You create space for new ideas to emerge, and this opens up avenues for personal and professional growth. Risk-taking encourages flexibility and adaptability, which are crucial in today's ever-changing world. To truly change the world, you must be willing to take risks, make bold decisions, and embrace uncertainty. It is through taking risks that you grow, challenge the status quo, and break through limitations. Each risk you take brings you one step closer to achieving something greater, whether it's in your career, personal life, or in the world at large. So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. The world belongs to those who dare to take the risks that others shy away from. Keep challenging yourself, embrace the unknown, and remember, true change begins when you take that first bold step outside your comfort zone. As you walk away from here today, remember this: the world needs your vision, your passion, and your relentless pursuit of something greater. Don't let doubt or fear hold you back. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do, and that could be you. So go ahead, take that first step, and let your story be the one that changes everything. The world is waiting.